Hi, I'm Jennifer Terri. I make Philippine travel updates. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, please consider subscribing. I know majority of you are not subscribed. Please subscribe, guys. It's the only thing I ask, and like the video. Okay, Jennifer. So I shared to you, diba, the actual interview, the actual answers of the IATF on our biggest questions. Would they relax the restrictions? Would they add green list countries? And also the biggest question as well as to when they would reopen, when would they answer to the petition, Love is Not Tourism. Before we get into that, let me just share some positive news naman, hopeful news about the arrival cap. So more Filipinos want to come home, especially this Christmas. The Civil Authority Board of the Philippines is hopeful that they will increase the cap again in Manila Airport in NAIA. According to the CAB Executive Director Carmelo Arcilla, the cases in the Philippines is going down. Hopefully, it will continue because they're hoping that they will increase again the arrival cap in Manila from now 4,000 to 5,000 or even more in the coming weeks for us to address the passengers, especially this coming Christmas. Yan, wag niyo nang pag-isipan, gawin niyo na. Increase the travel cap. So, mas maraming makakauwi at wala na masyadong cancellations at kahit konti, bumaba na yung price tickets. So that's good. We welcome that. Now, let's go ahead with the video I shared to you, the IATF, the biggest question. For Filipinos, I suggest, guys, you watch that video kasi it's different when you just read it from an article compared to when you actually watch it yourself. Kasi some things are not described, diba, in news articles. Anyways, for my foreign nationals, well, this is it. The IATF spokesperson on the Department of Health Undersecretary were asked these questions. They were asked about the possibility of expanding green list countries or relaxing the quarantine protocols for international arrivals. We know that for the fully vaccinated travelers coming from green countries, no quarantine. And this is why we all want our country to be on that list, green list. So, what's the IATF answer? Will they expand? They said, we can confirm that there is a technical working group created. Yes, we know about that. And we haven't heard any update about that, sir. Harry Roque. But the Department of Health Undersecretary Maria Vergeire said, there is already a discussion about expanding the green list country. But we need to look at the science on this. We adopted CDC and WHO standards. Yes, we know that. You've been copying the CDC list. And she said it's scientifically proven to make sure there is no forward transmission. But there have been requests from foreign embassies. So apparently, foreign embassies have requested to the IATF that, hey, can you include our country in the green list? Or can you relax the quarantine protocols for travelers from this country, that country? The reporter asked the IATF spokesperson and DOH Undersecretary, do you think you will grant the request of embassies? They said, we will still base it on science and on the systems we have right now, but we will study it. Ay, naku nga. Couldn't they see in their website that the cases from international travelers is very low, very, very low. It's insignificant. Guys, in their last update, imagine this. From October 21 to October 27, this week, last week, 4-week moving average, only 85 cases. Imagine. Napakaliit. And our cases is going down from travelers. Ewan ko, bakit hindi pa tayo nakita? With this, the IATF spokesperson made a suggestion. So recently, Harry Roque traveled to America, to the US, for some business there, ICC thing. And he shared that, me and Secretary Vinson, who is also a member of the IATF, went to America. We went to different states. And he suggested that since the US is a federal government, then we can classify per individual states because some states have very high vaccination rates and very low COVID cases, while there are those states with low vaccination rates because a lot of people there don't want to get vaccinated. He said that for states where there is high vaccination rate and low COVID cases, they should be on green, less ease restrictions, while states that have low vaccination rates should stay on yellow list. What do you guys think about that? With that, the Department of Health Undersecretary replied that yes, they're looking at the infection rates in specific countries, especially those countries requesting for ease restrictions, where the foreign embassies reached out, can you consider our country? So they're looking at the infection rate. That should be the one they're looking at, diba? And it's not significantly high, as they said. So that will be one of their bases. And they're going to be informing us on their decision next Thursday. So next Thursday, guys, expect, sana nga, hopefully they'll come to their senses and actually consider countries where there are Filipinos in the green list, right? So that is November 11. So with the no quarantine protocol, guys, I think for me it's 50-50. It's not zero chance for this month or next month, because they said they will study it and they're looking at infection rates and they have a sub-technical working group. It's not zero. For me, it's 50-50 chance for this year that quarantine will be totally removed, the hotel quarantine. While on another big question, foreign tourists. When would the Philippines reopen? When would the Philippines allow foreign tourists? When would the Philippines answer to the call of love is not tourism, to allow partners of Filipinos to enter the country? So I'm talking partners, unmarried couples. According to the IATF spokesperson, he said, we are not the only country that is still closed to foreign tourists. In fact, Thailand is just reopening just a few days ago. Bali reopened, but there are no airline operating in Bali. While in the US, they just recently will allow most travelers from Europe, and we will open in due time. Now we are on alert level 2. That's very encouraging. I know that doesn't sound so promising, right? In due time. It's like saying we don't really know. We don't really have a plan. Anyway, furthermore, the reporter asked the IATF spokesperson one more question. Thailand has recently reopened its borders to internationally fully vaccinated tourists. Considering that the Philippines will host the World Travel and Tourism Council Global Summit next year, March 2022, is the IATF preparing to follow a similar path to reopening tourism to international fully vaccinated tourists as soon as or once we have fully vaccinated 40 to 50% of our target population? Now this answer is a bit more hopeful. The IATF spokesperson said, yes, it's possible. That's why we need to achieve population protection by December. Now we are looking at the experience of Thailand because they are one of the first countries to reopen. That's because their economy is more reliant to tourism than us. Yes, Philippines relies on tourism, but not as much as Thailand. We will study the data and experience of Thailand, and if there is population protection, there's no basis we should not open, but in due time. I really didn't like his answer still. I mean, he mentioned about achieving population protection. Okay, that's good. At least, there's some concrete sign that they will reopen once we achieve this vaccination target, which is, by the way, population protection is 50%. Currently, the Philippines is at 36%, about 35%. So, and supply is not a problem. It's just the logistics and the willingness of the people to get vaccinated. But even with that population protection, he still said in due time. I don't feel comfortable with that. So Jennifer, when would the Philippines achieve this population protection? Look, the government is very optimistic, is very keen on achieving that population protection by the end of this year. So even though his statement wasn't so hopeful, I still believe that March 2020 could be the month that we'd reopen. Now, speaking of vaccination, how can we achieve such population protection, 50%? Oh wow. And some hopeful news in the Philippines, face-to-face classes, limited face-to-face classes in degree programs, in all degree programs, in areas where they are under alert level 2, which is NCR. That's some good news. I know somewhere in Cebu, they're also in alert level 2. Yan. Only those places. But other areas, hindi pa. The Philippines is also hoping to adopt the alert system for December 1 for the whole country. So that's some positive news as well, meaning we can have a Merry Christmas, less restrictions, and face shields should be removed before December. Make it as a gift. Yeah. Anyways, guys, this is all. I hope I explained it well to you. Don't lose hope. At least start talking about it now, diba? Before, it was never mentioned because there was zero possibility. But now, look, they're talking about it. It may not happen. The zero quarantine, the reopening to tourists may not happen this month or this week. But yeah, they're talking about it. So maybe next year, early next year. So I'll see you guys tomorrow in another update. Stay safe po and God bless.